Welcome everyone. In this session, let us see how to protect the feeders, and we'll see how to protect the system, electrical system, against earth fault and phase fault. First, coming to the protection of parallel feeders. So you can observe you have the parallel feeders over here, and at the sending end of the feeders, we have two relays, that is at A and B, and at the receiving end we have two more relays, that is at C and D. So if you observe at A and B, the arrow points in the both direction. That means this is a non-directional relay. Non-directional relay. So if the current flows in either direction, this relay is going to operate. That is at A and B. Whereas if you see at C and D, the arrow is pointing only in one direction. So this is a directional relay. So at A and B, at A and B, it is a non-directional relay. At A and B, it is a non-directional relay, whereas at C and D, you have the directional relay. C and D, it is a directional relay. So the arrow mark for direction relay, which is placed at C and D, it indicates that the relay will operate if current flows in the direction shown by the arrow. So if there is a fault which is occurring at F, then the direction relay at D is going to trip. Why? Because the direction of the current is reversed. Actually, the current should flow from B to D. But once a fault occurs, what has happened? The current starts to flow in the opposite direction. That is why the relay at D is going to operate. But the relay at C will not operate, because the current is flowing from A to C, no problem. But in case here, in the place of C and D, if you use a non-directional relay, then both relays at D and C is going to operate. So you have to see to that wherever at the receiving end you use the directional relays. So if now here both B and D will operate, both B and D will operate. So if a fault occurs at F, B and D will operate. Say if the fault point is somewhere in the first feeder, then both A and C is going to operate. So coming to the protection of a ring feeder. So you can observe here is a ring feeder where you have to have two relays at each feeder. So each feeder, it requires two relays. As I've already explained, one should be a non-directional relay and the other one should be a directional relay. So you can see at each feeder you have one non-directional relay and one directional relay. The arrow mark which point towards both the sides indicates a non-directional relay, whereas the arrow mark which is pointing towards only single direction, it indicates a directional relay. Say suppose for example which is taken here, a fault occurring at F1, the relay at C dash and D dash is going to trip because it has to protect the healthy section, so it will trip. But the relay which is present at C will not trip because it is a directional relay. So the only complexity is each feeder requires two relays. So that is the complexity when we employ a circuit breaker for the protection of the feeder. Next, coming to phase fault and earth fault protective schemes. A fault which involves the ground is called as earth fault. A fault which does not involve ground is called as phase fault. So the protective scheme which is used to protect against earth fault, we call it as earth fault protective scheme, whereas a protective scheme which is used to protect against phase fault, we call it as phase fault protective scheme. Both phase fault as well as earth fault, to protect any system we use a relay. It is nothing but overcurrent relay, but we can categorize it as earth fault relay and phase fault relay. Both are overcurrent relays. The main difference is the plug setting. If it is a earth fault relay, the plug setting varies from 20% to 80% of the CT secondary rating in steps of 10%. Whereas if it is a phase fault relay, the plug setting varies from 50% to 200% in steps of 25%, both in terms of the rated current. So now coming to the earth fault protective scheme. So you can see the diagram wherein you have a overcurrent relay. So this relay protects it against the earth fault. So this earth fault is mainly energized by the current, which is called as residual current. So residual current is nothing but the residual current is nothing but IA plus IB plus IC. So this is the residual current. So under normal conditions, the residual current is 0. When a earth fault occurs, the residual current is non-zero. So when it exceeds the pickup value, the earth fault relay is going to operate. The relay operates only for earth faults. So the earth fault relay, under normal condition, under balanced condition, it will not carry any current. So that means to say the current setting can be any value greater than 0. So if a fault occurs, then only the relay is going to operate. So you can see a protective scheme that is used to protect a transformer against earth fault. Okay, this is the earth fault relay used to protect against the transformer. So this is a phase fault protective scheme. You can observe it is a 3-phase system. We have 3 overcurrent relays, one in each phase. So this is mainly used for the protection of any system against phase faults. Say if you didn't have earth fault, okay, this relay is even detected, but it will be less sensitive. Okay, this relay is less sensitive for earth faults. So we have a combined scheme, that is combined phase fault and earth fault protective scheme. So here it is shown 2 phases. You have the overcurrent relays, that is 2 phase, and one we have a earth fault relay. So when earth fault occurs, the burden on the active CT is that of the phase fault relay and the earth fault relay in series. So the CT burden will be very high and it will cause saturation actually if you use combined earth fault and phase fault protective scheme. And the last one is the directional earth fault relay. Once the name comes directional, that means we have the directional element. So this particular earth fault relay has 2 components. One is the directional component and the other one is the IDMT element. So the directional element has 2 coils. Okay, one is the current coil and the other one is the potential coil. So the current coil is energized by the residual current, whereas the voltage coil or the potential coil is energized by the residual voltage. So you have CTs, you have PTs, you can see in this diagram also. So this type of connection is suitable in a place where you don't have a neutral point. Okay, if the neutral of an alternator or a transformer is grounded, then connections are to be made as in the second diagram. So this IDMT element which is used in this type of relays has a plug setting of 20% to 80%. So this is the directional earth fault relay. So if the fault occurs and the current is flowing in one particular direction, the relay is going to operate.